Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event. With your hosts, TB Scouting MMA and
the Guru, back again for UFC Vegas 102. You've got a middleweight main event. You've got Jared Killer Gorilla Cannonier taking on Hobocop Gregory Rodrigues, Barack Obama himself. We got incredible fights to break down. Honestly, a bit of a sleeper of a card. Could possibly creep up on us and make something interesting. You know I'm not a fan of the Apex, but you know I am a fan of making money. So we brought a very good friend into the house. Whether you hate to love him, whether you love to hate him, whether you follow him to see him lose, whether you follow him to see him cash, whether you're tailing his picks, whether you're fading his picks, whether you're mushing it or not, we just want to win, baby. Rich, what's up, baby? How you doing?
What's up, boys? Yeah, good to be back on the show. It's been a minute. It's late as fuck, so I hope you appreciate the commitment. It's like 1 a.m. here.
I'll crack one for you, brother.
Yeah, and yeah, thanks for not bowing down to the public pressure of not having me on, because, you know, a lot of people told you, don't have him on, he's a piece of shit, but that might be true, but you had me on anyway, so thanks for that.
You might be a piece of shit, but you are a piece of shit, so it's all good.
Exactly. Let's put out, a general disclaimer here. Listen, our views, Rich's views, separate, but we respect the guy. He's only been, the utmost of respectful to us, and any disagreement we've had betting on fights, picking fights. And that's the way I look at it, is if you give me a reason to dislike you personally in the way you've interacted with me, great. But hey, listen, you guys are here to enjoy the show. We got some great breakdown content. We have a great time breaking down the fights every single week. And if you don't enjoy it, like this, the whole thing is just to be a community. If anybody is upset about this and you want to be a guest on the show coming up to air, whatever you got to say, come on the show. Let's have a great time. We truly believe that, we're here to have a good time, enjoy the fights, break down fights, bet on fights. And Guru, who's the enemy in that situation?
The bookies. It's always about the bookies. I mean, it's about, giving respect, showing respect with us as colleagues, right? And that's how you earn respect. Anything else past that, you know what I'm saying? We just don't do the drama. I speak for TBI in that respect. We don't care. We're about, being friendly, making money. Like, that's it. Fuck those cockroach bookies. Any capper, anybody that has a different opinion about a fight, whatever, more power to you. Hope you got the best line. Like, all good. See it at the judges station. But yeah, that's it.
Shout out to all you amazing people in the chat, by the way. Mushroom, thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy that Guru's cat couldn't keep you away forever, because we're bringing back the goat. Just
Mushroom, my cat broke my TV the other day.
That's no bullshit. I don't know. I felt like this was like one of those troll accounts when they first followed us. It could be like, I don't know who you are, but thanks for joining the show. Hope you subscribe.
I don't care. I like troll accounts.
Yeah, let's go. Making the day, another Chronic Combat episode. We're always
in that question up, man.
What's up, brother?
I can clear that question up. I made Delgado much of the week, and I put the funny picture of ICE capturing him because he's an illegal, and when he loses, he's going to be in Tijuana making his tacos and sent back.
I'll say this much. If he does lose, I'm okay with you deporting him. That's fine.
That's it. Hey, listen. Yeah, exactly. So anyways, without further ado, what you people really came here for, and thanks so much for joining. If you haven't hit the like button, if you haven't subscribed already, well, that's all we're going to ask you. It's always free picks, the best bets, the best guests. And if you're out there looking to pay the professionals, go ahead. But we're here to have a good time. So let's get down to it. We've got the Killer Gorilla.
Listen, not for nothing. No, not for nothing. Who would want to pay the professionals when we're on a 4-event win streak, baby? We're not to toot our own horn, but, toot. Let's make it 5. Now break down this damn fight.
The Killer Gorilla.
God, why are you taking so long?
The Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier, plus 190. Gregory Hobocop Rodrigues. Barack Obama reincarnated at minus 230. Man, I think Hobocop is here to make sure that the Killer Gorilla doesn't take over the metropolis. He's here to bring down King Kong and save the day. Hobocop for the win. I think ultimately we're looking at the guy. I mean, just look at the type of shape this guy's in coming into this fight. And Jared, it's been a downward swing. Reaction times seem to be slower. His chin has been unbreakable at the 185 division, but it looks like it's begging to be broken at this stage. And man, it just makes me
you know what of yours is begging to be broken?
What is
sicko?
It? Oh my God. But no, ultimately, I just think that Rodrigues, while he doesn't have the reach advantage here, his size in this matchup, like, I don't think Cannonier can just go clinch for safety like he did against Nasruddin Imavov. And Kyle Bahalio, much more willing to play it safe at range, land strikes, get out, keep it safe. And he still almost lands a finish at the end of round 5. Hobocop, man, we're throwing down in the center, and we're throwing down whether you like it or not. And Cannonier, man, I just don't know if he's built for that type of fight at this juncture. This isn't Marvin Vettori anymore. And even Marvin Vettori lands a nice little how you doing before he gets slaughtered the rest of the matchup following that round 1 adventure. So I got to go Hobocop here, but at the same time, I'm not playing minus 230. It's just a bit too much. I really don't want to lay it in a parlay. And I feel like either guy could be live for a finish. So, Guru, do you have any type of play that you're looking to get on this fight? Because I don't know.
I just found my play, and I'm going to sit on it, but it could be dangerous. But hear me out. All right? I'm going to bet fight to start round 4 at plus 108. Okay. I think a 50-50 chance that this fight, for a 3-round fight, were to go the distance. I like those odds. And this is why. I mean, I was somebody that was on G-Rod last fight versus Chris Leroy Duncan, and I also took the plus 600 G-Rod by decision. Like, with all that, I just felt like he wasn't going to finish him. Then you look at the Brad Tavares fight. It's a fair stoppage, but it comes round 3. And then you look at anything past that, sure, he's finishing guys. Who? Chidi Njokuani? The guy that quit? That would have finished him round 1 because his forehead was separated? Or how about Dennis Tululian, who doesn't belong in the UFC? How about Julian Marquez, who gets sparked literally gets sparked all the time? No chin. So I'm just not, finishes Josh Frem round 1. I'm just not sold that he's going to put away a guy like Jared Cannonier, who has been durable as shit throughout his entire career, just went 5 rounds with Kyle Bahalio. And honestly, like, how bad does the Imavov stoppage look now? I mean, obviously, in retrospect, the stoppage itself was still questionable. But my point is Imavov just stopped Izzy, right? Like, how good is his KO potential, his finishing potential? How much better has his striking got? What would Imavov versus Rodrigues look like? I mean, come on. So I'm not saying I like Jared here, but I'm just going to say that I'm going to go with a sneaky over. And if it ends early, then, if he dies, he dies. I'll be happy to risk a unit and lose it in a fun manner. But that's kind of where I'm going. I think it takes some time.
Rich?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on these fights, but this is one fight that I haven't really. I like fight doesn't go the distance. Obviously, it's chalky as fuck, but I'm looking to parlay it with something. I just don't know what yet. I think, fight to start round 4 is risky. I wouldn't mind fight to start round 3. I do think it lasts at least, the over 1.5, and then you're sweating a little bit. But I'm coming round to the Jared side. For reasons you just mentioned, the level of competition between the two is just evident. Rodrigues would have got finished by both Borello and Imavov, because I don't think he's made for 5 rounds. I think they would have finished him late on when he, tires. He's too reckless. He's too wild. He leaves openings. And I think that's the problem here, man. Jared had some good moments in round 1 or 2, 1 and 2 against Borello, with these flurries of combinations he was throwing. And I just think someone like Rodrigues is too stiff, too immobile, and he's a bit robotic in his movement, a bit stiff. So yeah, Jared's going to have some opportunities to crack him, man. And we've seen him knocked out before. We've seen him take punishment before. Yeah, he's come back against the likes of Park and Chidi. But yeah, we know he can be hurt, man. And like I said, Jared, he's just fought 2 killers, stepped down in competition. So I'm really considering it, man.
Good question. Jared back too soon? Well, he came back after 2 months. last time. I think he's taking at least a bit more time on this go around. And exactly what I was saying. Marvin Gillihan's did drop him. He always gets hit a couple times, and these are all the concerns. This is why, and it's like one of those passing of the guard type of matchups too, where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Is this the time where I finally pass on the main event? This remains to be seen. Stay tuned. We're moving on. We've got the co-main event. Calvin, the Boston finisher, Kattar versus Youssef, the Moroccan Devil, Zalal. This one's got a lot of interesting dynamics to it. Someone on the rise, someone on the downswing. But I don't know. There's some things I was picking up with Kattar and the camp switch. Him and Robbie Font taking the trip up to TriStar. They have like an Airbnb together or with maybe another couple guys or so, but they're just dedicated to they train, sleep, recover, back to training. He doesn't have the distractions of back home at Boston where he's the best guy in the gym. You know, this isn't just a New England cartel training with Brandon Marat and, call it a day. Getting grappling rounds in with Ryan Hall, Faraz Sahabi, head coach at this juncture. I'm interested. I think it shows, could it be desperation or could it be, maybe I really got to change some of my defensive sensibilities. Maybe there are little adjustments in the grappling game I can make to be a better fighter at this stage. And to watch Calvin Kattar go the distance and not get submitted by Aljamain, coming off knee surgery, long layoff, this is like the sweet spot right here. This is like the make or break for Kattar. It's either he's cutting off his gloves and laying him down in the octagon because I just don't got it anymore. Youssef Zalal sub me within 2 rounds, or this could be the comeback performance of a lifetime. And I feel like I've got one unit that I'm willing to lose. I'm gathering all the change I can from grandma's couch. I've saved it up for this magical moment, and I'm waiting to see if we get to plus 400, maybe even higher. I don't know. I feel like
I'll tell you this much. I'll tell you this much. I think you get higher round 1 live. I think Zalal comes out, pretty fast and gets some grappling, at least attempting to get that grappling going. Calvin Kattar's been, his finishing stuff has always been kind of fun, but I always found it to be a little bit more attritional, right? Shane Burgos round 3, Jeremy Stevens late round 2, lots of decisions sprinkled in there with some of his layered striking. It's so tough, man. Zalal's so untouchable at this price, like TV was already saying. Aljamain Sterling is a much better fighter than Youssef Zalal, and that's coming from somebody who does not like Aljamain Sterling. And the line was way closer. So I just think there's a ton of recency bias baked into this. And when you look at who he fought, Jack Shore, who retired, had nothing left to give. Jarno Aarons, who's like a kickboxer, Mortal Kombat guy who literally cannot grapple to save his life. And then, Billy Q, who, got old quick, man. And those wars take a toll and the grappling was just not there. So I'm just not sure that he subs Calvin Kattar. And if he doesn't, wrestle at a high clip, then this could be really interesting on the feet because, Zalal has just never been a volume striker. It's just a problem. Can Calvin make him pay at this stage? Because TV, I think you were onto something as well. At the co-main event here, I think he moves camps this has to be the last gasp, right? This is his last chance to try to salvage his career on a 4-fight win streak. It might not even be up to him. They may just be done. And at 36, he comes from money, owns a nice gym. I think that might just be it. I don't think he's going to fight for any other promotion other than the UFC. So I think you're right. I think this is it. The end of the line if he doesn't get it done. So I'm interested in him, maybe a money line shot live. But yeah, I understand it. Zalal's untouchable. So what do you think, Just Win? Where's the value here?
I think Zalal wins. I think decision. I think the sub is super square. I don't think he's going to be subbing. I do think it's desperation, moving camps at this junction in his career, at this age, with the injuries. Per Instagram, he's just trying to promote bookies, trying to cash in on some money with some outside endeavors. I think Zalal's going to come out early, clinch him. Doesn't even need the takedown. He's going to come out hot, win the first round. Win the second round, it'll be a bit iffy. Maybe Cater can, stop the takedowns in round 3. If Zalal gets a bit tired. He has been finishing quick recently in his fights. So there's that. But yeah, overall, I think Zalal wins, and it's just going to be a decision, man. I like some dogs on the card, but Cater isn't one.
Yeah, and that's fair.
I kind of feel that way too, honestly.
We're wrestling with it. It's just
tough. You know what it's become as who now becomes a dog hunter, right? You really try to be like, well, is this line justified? And can I wrap my brain around a minus 485? And it does become tough. You get a little snake bitten, but it's really about sifting through the weeds. Like, as we'll talk about, right? Like the curtain jerker, Cavalcanti minus 700. I mean, by God, like, she should win, but like there's just certain stuff that just starts to really spook you when you've hit these plus 200, plus 300 dogs in the past. I know you guys all know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. I just think that there at least is the stuff on tape that supports the downtrend. It's just surprising given what Cater is priced at against Aljo, but it's like, well, we all watch the Aljo fight, so that's how the market adjusts, right?
Right. But I think it's a little too much steam.
Yeah, it's too much. That's why I can't do it. I'm like so tempted by Cater, but I don't know, man. Oh, all right. We've got the Golden Boy, Edmund Shabazian versus the Mindless Hulk, Dylan Budka.
I'm telling you right now. No, I'm telling you right now.
Tell me.
This is official. If he loses this fight, he's downgraded, not just from gold into silver. Gold. He's the bronze. He's the bronze boy if he loses this. You do not get to keep golden if you lose to Dylan Budka. I'm sorry.
I mean, he just might not even have a place in the UFC. I mean, this is the biggest feeder matchup that you could possibly give a guy that's faced, the who's who in the middleweight division at this point. Edmund Shabazian, yeah, I mean, you could say a lot about some of his losses and, oh, man, he's given up, he's slowed down. But a lot of these names, I mean, Gerald Meerschaert, he's got like the most subs in middleweight division for a reason. Derek Brunson, that guy's got a ton of knockouts. That was like a, grown man versus young boy, who has staff this week. Oh boy. Yeah. Is that Ian Gary at the bottom? I don't think so. I don't think so. Tie bets. What's going on? Not really. The question here is like with Edmund, what does this fight look like if he's not finishing in a round 1, round 2? And you know what? I choose not to think about that scenario. Basically, Dylan Budka doesn't really have any real striking defense. He's heavily reliant on diving in on non-dangerous, non-submission threat wrestling and leaves himself open to be countered, to be hit all day. And I just like Edmund should be the better athlete here by far. He is strong. He is a good fighter. Yeah, there's been some sketchy moments, but is Dylan Budka the guy to evoke said moments from Edmund Shabazian? Damn, like I don't want to play Edmund minus 380, but Guru, could you tell the people what we might have stumbled on in this wide world?
Yeah, I think we hit something pretty solid here. Again, especially when you look at who he's fought. I know you said the who's who, but I mean, losing to Derek Brunson, Jack Hermanson, Imavov, Fluffy. I mean, these are not bad losses. The worst one is the last one, which is GM3. But is that dude not like a cardio sub machine? I mean, he just knows how to pull it out. So, I mean, it's understandable, but it wasn't great. I mean, he was winning the fight too. So,
damn. Did the Guru? I don't know, baby.
No, they're talking about the 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 you
know who. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
Honestly, I just don't. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Dylan Budka was cut after this one. It might be 0-3 and see you later. You're right. I mean, this is about a feeder of a spot as you can give him. He's beaten the AJ Dobsons and Dalcha Lugambulas of the world. I think Dylan Budka falls right in line with that. So we played Edmund Shabazian round 1-2 KO at plus 195. The round 1 and 2 itself was plus 110 or something, and he's gotten one sub, so he's not subbing Dylan Budka. And if it gets out of round 2, don't want any. You want zero part of Shabazian, like none. So
Rich, what do you got cooking here?
Tell me what you
Yeah,
got.
it's just funny that you ended with that, man. I like one bet, and it's Edmund by sub.
Oh
No. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's possible. He could put himself in a bad spot and get subbed. He's never been subbed before. No, he's been subbed once. Or first pro fight.
yeah, it's more than possible. He is going to sub him. It's going to be a guillotine, and it's going to be in round 1 or 2. That's what the tape says, man. If you go watch the fight against Almeida, he was constantly putting his head on the outside with the double leg takedown attempts, and he was primed to get guillotined. Obviously, Almeida doesn't know what a guillotine is. Edmund is a black belt. He does have jiu-jitsu. He just hasn't had to use it in his fights previously. I think he's got one against Jack Marshman. I think he rear naked choked him back in the day. But yeah, he likes to stand and bang, man. But when you've got someone on the other side who's trying to take you down, sometimes you ain't got a choice but to fucking sub him. So it's very live. I like the number. He's much bigger. I give him a pass for the GM fight. GM's on steroids. He's a big fucker. Obviously, he's well versed in grappling as well. And Edmund just gassed trying to finish. You know, it is what it is. I think that's overblown this week where people are saying, you know, he's got cardio issues. I don't think he has. I think it was just circumstances. He went for the kill, cardio dumped, and got finished. Budka would get subbed by GM as well, man. So,
God, yeah.
It just is what it is. So yeah, what more can I say? I'm betting the sub. I'm predicting a guillotine in round 1, maybe round 2.
All right. Hey, I like a good bold prediction. Me and Guru are going to need to reconsider if we want just round 1, round 2.
Or
if we're planning our day.
It's plus money, and
Yeah,
we might not have to get so greedy. You know, plus 115 to plus 195 might not.
I mean,
be
it
worth
is nice, but if you're going to lose your bet because it's not the right outcome, maybe you don't need to get so cute.
It's true. It's an interesting thought. So at the moment,
yeah, I might even do round 1 and 2 myself as well as the sub. It's plus 120 on my book. So yeah,
that's a good number.
All right, I like it. We're thinking of some good ideas here.
I think we're in agreement.
We've got Ismael Bonfim Maheta. This is the big hammer, older brother, littler guy, versus Nazim Black Wolf Sadikhov. Oh boy, we got an interesting one here. I'm curious before we get into this one, Rich. Let's let you take this one away. What are you thinking here?
Okay. Yeah, I like the underdog. I like Sadikhov to win. I like the metrics on his side. For Bonfim, he's had 3 fights, 2 in Rio, which he won, had 1 in Vegas, which he lost. He struggles to make weight. He didn't finish Vince Pichel, who's all of 40. He had to implement some wrestling just to get the W. He's low volume. He's a bit of a bitch, to be honest. I don't think he's as good as his brother. I like his brother better. I think he's got a better skill set, better chance of finishing the fight as well. Bonfim does okay when he's fighting Terrence McKinney and he just froze up on the cage and, he got the highlight reel KO. But I think if you pressure him like Benoit Denise did, he doesn't like it. He likes a pretty fight. He likes it technical. He likes to counter as well. If you don't bring the fight to him, he'll outpoint you, no problem, and do his thing. But Sadikhov's a wild guy, man. He's going to, go on the front foot, bring it to him, and I think he's going to break him and finish him by TKO in round 2.
Damn, that's nice. All right, well, I've been trying to push this direction.
That's how we felt all week.
It's
how we felt all week.
So here's how it went down. It's Sunday. We're looking ahead at lines. Think I want Nas taking a look at fight odds. Well, line seems to be going the other direction. No need to rush. All of a sudden, we go from I was going to play plus 125, and now here we are all the way at plus 180. I'm like, well, what exactly is happening? I think everybody's laying the Bonfim brother parlay, and it might be easy to fall into these pitfalls, right? It's cute. It's fun. Who doesn't love a good brother parlay?
I mean, not for nothing. This guy might be the sneaky mush of the week.
Sneaky. He had to be.
Well, he's losing, so yeah, he could be.
Yeah, and here's my thought is like me and Guru were talking a bit about this, outside the podcast, and the thought is, well, Ismael Bonfim, he's got the way better metrics, and then you consider that he put up all these metrics against Vince Pichel. And he wants a clean, easy, I'm faster than you. I got better gas than you. I just have to stay safe type of fight. Nazim is not like one of his downfalls is that he's an idiot and he's just going to run forward and throw heavy strikes. I love it. Bring it on in this fight. What you need against a guy like Bonfim is to make him crack, and the Maheta becomes the unya, the nail.
You know, he honestly reminds me of, and maybe just because it is the camp as well. He really does remind me of like Matt Favola. He's like that Azerbaijan Matt Favola in my mind.
Yeah.
He just like comes forward crazy, and he's got a lot of power. Like, I mean, a lot of his fights, like the Slava fight, like again, he basically loses, but he gets the 10-8 round 2, beats the shit out of him, almost kills him. and then the Evan Elder fight, he's losing both rounds, which is a really bad look, but he tears the guy's face off and with a punch and wins the fight.
Yeah, I think that the fact that Sadikov's at Syndicate matters as well. Like I said, the last time that Bonfim traveled to the States, he lost, and it's Sadikov on home turf, man. So yeah, I think that's something too.
I like that. And this is why I let you go first, because I was nervous that you would tell me that Bonfim.
So you needed confirmation bias, is what?
No. I just didn't want to be the first one to say it, and Rich to be like, "Oh yeah, good job." You know, I wanted to hear it. You know, I wanted to hear it first before we did it out. All right, we're moving on here. We've got Rodolfo Vieira, the black belt hunter, and well, he found a black belt to hunt. It's Andre the Giant Petrosky plus 225 against Rodolfo himself minus 278. Oh boy, we got an interesting matchup here, and I am sketched the hell out. We've got grappler versus grappler, and you know what that means. Striking battle. However, we've got glass chin versus glass chin. I'm talking the guy who got nearly dropped and then gilly jumped by his best friend Cody Brundage, Rodolfo Vieira, and Andre Petrosky, who got knocked out by one iliac crest of Jacob Malkoun. That's the hip bone, if you're not familiar.
Nobody's familiar. I don't know what you did. You just cast a spell on us? What did you say?
The iliac crest.
It's the iliac?
Yeah, it's like that.
Put up a banner. I want a banner of it.
All right, I'm gonna give you an iliac crest banner.
Yeah.
It also could have been the ASIS.
It was the pelvic bone.
Yeah,
His fucking hip.
So the iliac crest is the pelvic bone. Iliac crest.
There you go. I like it.
Right. This is what you get. All right. You got a professional in the building. An exercise science. Anyways. Yeah, I'm sketched out.
I just feel like Rodolfo Vieira is, I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but I just feel like he's submission round 1 or 2 or legitimately a bust. And that's a really scary thing to be at a minus 278 favorite. Because I'm just not sure that if, Petrosky were to somehow get on top, I don't know how long Rodolfo would play off his back or what that would even look like, what the fight looked like extending out looks like. And then additionally, what if nobody grapples and they're striking? Is that not Andre Petrosky better for him? It's just really scary at this number. So, I do kind of lean to the dog, but I mean, they're the same size. That's like the other weird thing. They're the same size and the same height, and he's just a couple years younger. It's scary. He could just listen. He could sub him round 1, and I could sound really, really fucking stupid. Because my original thought was like, well, who's a better striker, Petrosian or Petrosky? And I'm like, well, Petrosian by far. And I'm like, well, his striking couldn't keep him off of him, so that's a bad sign. But the difference level in their defensive grappling is significant. But I'm still not sure if it's significant enough because Petrosky was subbed by Brian Battle, and that's not great. I know he trains with Sean Brady and Joe Pfeiffer. It's just tough. Tough. I don't know. Dog or pass, and I'm okay passing.
I'm feeling a pass. Rich, what do you got going on here?
Yeah, I think it's Vieira all day, man. They are similar metrics. They are similar ages, but one's a bitch and one's got dog in him, man. Petrosky getting, TKO'd by Michel Pereira, whatever the fuck that was. That was some bullshit. Back in the day, he struggled.
Short notice.
Yeah, whatever. He struggled with the Chinaman. He struggled with Gilmore. He didn't sub Budke, he didn't sub Fremd, and he could have. He just chose to lay on him and win the fight by points. So
Yeah, that's true.
He's a bitch in my book, man.
Well, he needs 8 to 10 minutes of control to win each of his UFC fights. So it's like, I just don't know. Like, would you honestly be so shocked if Rodolfo gave that to him? Like, he just played off his back like an idiot.
No, he's not going to do that. He doesn't do that.
What if maybe for the first round, but what if he gets tired?
No,
he has to get hurt.
Tired.
Okay, yeah, exactly. so then Rodolfo's fine.
Yeah,
he's gonna
finish. So then I don't know what.
Like,
that's kind of what I asked TB, and he got a little tentative. So I was like, well, then I got tentative as well. It's like if you don't think that Rodolfo, if you think Rodolfo's going to get up and fight for your money, then he's fine because he should sub Petroski because there should be a difference in the grappling.
Well,
yeah, but like Edmund, I wouldn't be so sure on the submission. It could easily be a TKO.
It would be you mean like a positional TKO?
No, or just
no, even on the feet, anything.
That's crazy. I don't see that. I mean, it's a fucking fist fight, so I get it. It wouldn't be like the craziest fit in the world, but I don't know. I don't see it.
If I might defend
myself. Went 3 rounds with Curtis, and Curtis is primarily a boxer, and he held his own in that. Petroski almost got KO'd by GM3 in round 3.
He was so tired. He's so sleepy.
Yeah, that's what he does in every fight, though. He's going to do the same again because there's going to be grappling in the fight. He's going to be defending the takedowns.
But all that's baked into the minus 278 favorite. So he better get a finish, or it could look a little sketchy.
But being minus 278 doesn't mean shit. Like, you can ignore that and just bet on the round 2 and 3 if you're like capping it based on tape.
You think it's 2 and 3 over 1 and 2?
Oh yeah, Petroski's a gasser. Big time.
I just figure the subs come early. I mean, Petrosian round 1. I guess he gets Stolz fist 3.
That's terrible though. Like he's got no grappling. We're talking Petroski's issue here is his gas tank and his glass chin.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly what you just said. That's the thing, man.
2-3. I can
2-3 unless it's KO1. Like that's the hilarious part. If you
I can take it,
you know. But what I will say is when I did get sketched out is when the guru's presenting Rodolfo Vieira as the third leg of a 3-leg parlay that pays out low plus 100s. Yeah, I'm really sketched out about a 3-leg parlay, brother. That's exactly what's happening here.
Well, what was the other two?
Estevam and what was the other that we had cooked in there too? Guru?
Who the fuck was it?
Because obviously we were like going to get there, divulge. I think it was Estevam and
and Gordon.
Yeah, Jared Gordon.
Yeah, there you go. Estevam's going to fuck up your parlay.
No way.
Fair enough. See, it could be a round 1 Gilly. All right. Anyways, we're moving on. If you guys haven't done the right thing yet, I'm judging you. But you can fix that. Just hit a like, hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing. 4 for 4 on winning events this year. You guys should congratulate us with a subscription to the channel.
Would love
for
that.
free $99. If you want to donate, if you want to pay for whatever God's unknown reasons, the ability exists. You can do that too. But I don't know why you would, but we will accept it. So anyways, we're moving on. Connor the Controller Matthews, terrible Drake impression. And then Jose Carlos Delgado. He started a new career.
I like that because he was a Met.
Yes, and he's got his second surgically repaired hip, and Carlos Delgado is ready to get out here swinging. And we're gonna go ahead, Rich. What are your feelings on this fight?
Well, Delgado's the mush, so obviously I like Matthews in this one. I think the line is super off. I can see some bitch in Delgado. I didn't like him in his Dana White Contender Series fight, albeit that he won it. I just think near the end of round 1, he kind of shelled up a little bit when he faced some adversity. He's a good front runner. He spams kicks. He spams his volume. He goes pretty wild. But as soon as the guy started fucking actually throwing something back, man, and tagging him, he didn't like it at all. He can't wrestle. He can't grapple. There's some concerns on the Matthews side. He has 4 losses and 3 were by finish. So obviously I don't like that, but it's like you were saying, do you see value in the line? And I do. Delgado's making his UFC debut. He looked a bit shook in his Dana White Contender Series fight, so I can only imagine that he's going to be shook in this one. Maybe he gets the jitters. Maybe he gasses out and doesn't get his finish in round 1, starts doubting himself. I can see that for sure. And it's something interesting actually that I saw. Although I've picked Matthews, I did see the line for either of them by submission, and it was just way too high. So although I've got a Matthews bet, I might also take either by submission because it's like plus 400 range. Delgado has got some long arms. He sneaks in them front chokes like Nolan tried to do on Slava. I've seen him do that pretty fast, so that's sneaky. Matthews has been subbed before. He does tire a little bit in his fights. I'm hoping he can come over that. It's a little bit of like Delgado being shit and Matthews being on his game in this one. I'm counting on Delgado to get the jitters a bit and, start doubting himself when he doesn't get his finish. Yeah, that's about it, really. Good transitions from Matthews. I got that in my notes. When he actually tries to wrestle, he's got like
he's a decent wrestler for sure.
Yeah, he's live, man. Super live.
I just feel like physically he's going to be outgunned in this spot, and that's like just kind of the tough spot of it. He's he's going to be much smaller. 2-inch reach, 2-inch reach, 3-inch height, older, which is already puts him at a 60-40, like percentage right there. And just based on some of the tape, like when I watched Delgado's one loss to Chris Makate, I was, first off, he's a turtle off his back. His defensive grappling is a problem. But what I saw is a couple things. Number one, Chris Makate is somebody that we might actually hear from sometime very soon. And he was absolutely relentless with his takedowns and got single to single to double to single to single to pushing against the cage to some striking back to the single. And he fucking wore him out. I don't see that at all from Connor Matthews. And I like, yeah, because he's a decent enough striker. And what I saw from Connor Matthews on the feet versus Dennis Bazookia was a problem. I love Dennis. Dennis is an awesome guy. Been on the show, followed him, watched him live regionally. He's not a big finisher. He was going to decision with guys on the regional. So the fact that he knocked out Connor is a problem. At the number, I totally get it. Fading Dana White Contender Series debut guys is one of our favorite things to do. I'm just not sure that this is the spot. I think because this is really essentially just still a Dana White Contender Series fight. This guy's had one UFC fight, and he was not good in it. So yeah, I'm going Delgado, but I get it. Not a fun line at minus 400. He doesn't deserve it. He needs to get the finish here, which is what we bet. We got plus 100 on him getting a finish. He has 8 wins, 8 finish wins. That's kind of where we went, but we're very happy to go head to head with you, and I respect that. I respect the dog shot. I do.
Yeah,
either I lose or you and Clint win. We'll see.
Hey, listen, listen, Clint loves the he parlayed the fight doesn't go the distance.
No fucking shit. I'm not even gonna say what I'd say usually.
We love Clint, so
anybody listening, you should not be making treble parlays in the first place, but you certainly shouldn't be doing them when you don't even get plus money from the fucking bets.
Guru.
Yeah. It's just facts.
No, it's true. Listen, I don't love parlays either, but I am addicted to them, so it happens. Like McDonald's, you don't love it, but you do kind of love it.
I'm loving it.
Guys, if you love the show, come on, like, subscribe, get in this chat.
Here's what I will say. I don't know what happened. We had them on for a little bit. They're back in business. We're on the move.
Oh, are we up to super chats? Do we have them still or no?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we had them. We were getting them for a little bit.
You say had. Is the feature still there?
The feature exists again. I reactivated. I don't know why it deactivated.
Oh, so we are back with super chats. We are
back in business. So once again, not a requirement, but I actually didn't even realize they were disabled. So I apologize.
Glenbot said he parlayed the under 2.5.
Fair enough. I get it.
I'd say this as well, just to add and be different from your point of view. If Dennis Bazooka fought Delgado, I'd max bet him, even if he was favorite. I like Bazooka. I think he's decent.
I think he's very well rounded.
Yeah, so Matthews getting knocked out by him in the third round, I don't think is a bad look.
Oh, there it is. See, Daz, this is what a super chat is.
Oh
Kiwi,
my
our
God.
boy.
What that? Look at this guy. Shout out Kiwi, the guy. Appreciate you. Look at the floodgates opening.
Our
up here.
huge donor, Kiwi. One of
Yeah.
our, I think probably the biggest donor that we've ever had, right?
He's a founding father of our channel.
That's fair.
He's-
Put
he
him up in the
sponsors-
rafters.
I'm serious. He's given the most
Oh,
out of
I'm
anybody.
serious.
Shout out to the guy. He's getting his jersey retired. What number would you want to be, Kiwi? You're the GOAT. Yeah, really. Rich, sorry, your face will be blocked for just a short period. Shout out. Just for your choice of Connor Matthews. And a shout out.
That's not nice.
No, all right.
Put
we'll
his
drop it
face
down.
back up.
Kiwi, you're the man. You're the man. Shout out to you.
Rich is the
we've
fucking
got
man staying
Angela-
up all late to do this with us.
We've got Angela Overkill Hill -108, Ketlin Esquentadilla Souza, and that means hot-headed. Look out. She's a little hothead. -112. Not in the way that Guru's thinking about right now.
No, she did not look great. Not interested.
Yeah. Shout out to the chat comment. That's pretty funny. But then, so Overkill -108. Well, me and Guru, here we are scouting the lines, and we find a little Angela Overkill Hill. Wow, best line, DraftKings -120. All right, good. It's like -130 everywhere else. All right, man, let's lock it in. This is gonna be our spot. Let's play to win 2 units. Next morning, I wake up. Angela Hill -110 apiece. The fuck is happening? What are you people doing out here? We've got a fighter that needs a finish to win the fight. Someone that's been outstruck like 2-1 against any UFC level fighter that they fought. Marnik, man, don't talk to me, please. That's not. That's you're not. You go sit at the children's table, Marnik. Overall, Overkill. I don't care if we even get a slightly diminished version of her on the feet. Souza, she's been having her own. Look at her posts on social media. She moved down from 125 after her debut. She was like, yeah, fuck those Z-locks up in the flyweight division. I'm going to fight these little girls down at 115. And listen, it works out. Marnik, man, she's a punching bag. She's a soccer mom. Then in the next fight, well, here we go. We got an eye poke on Souza's side. Then we got a coochie kick for Yasmin. Then we got a coochie kick for Ketlin Souza. Clam bags back to back. And right after that, we get a little knockdown. How you doing? 13 seconds later into a submission. I don't know, man. I think Angela's a little bit more composed than the glass chin Yasmin Horegi that we've seen over and over. Got to take the Angie Overkill side. It's probably our biggest play this week, along with a certain monster that's probably clean if you were to ask him. But Angie Hill here, Guru. What did I not touch on? I'm sorry. I should let you go.
I just think that I just feel that Angela Hill, despite maybe some of I just think that I think she's just going to be the better striker. I like her veteran gameship here. I don't necessarily think that Ketlin Souza is going to be able to is she going to wrestle her? Is that the game plan? She's going to get on top? If it's just striking, I just don't necessarily see it. She hasn't faced the same level of competition. So unless, again, like you said, we're getting some sort of diminished version of Angela Hill, we haven't seen Angela Hill in a while. So I would think that she'd be, kind of ready to go here. Angela Hill does have an inch of reach, which I like for her. So, yeah, I like Angela Hill. We saw last week with the women's MMA line crashing. That shit doesn't always matter. And very often it doesn't matter. So I'm going to stick with my gut here and go with the vet. What do you think, Rich? Are we on the right side here?
Yeah, I've bet Hill, man. I was the same as you. I fucking seen -128 and took it and thought I was getting amazing value.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
-110. I even told everybody she's going to -200, so I don't know fuck all, obviously.
Well, because you know what the funny part is like the split line I just checked. It's the worst split line I've ever seen. +225 to be a split decision.
Oh,
That's really just the problem. Is if it is just a 75 to 70 significant strike decision, it's just it's a problem. Yeah, there you go, Glimbot. Glimbot's on it. So Angela Hill by split decision for Black History Month.
Yeah, instead of betting that split, you should bet on Hill by ITD at plus 900.
Wow. Could you imagine?
I can imagine it's going to happen. I bet it.
She's
Hill's
I
gonna
mean, she
smash.
did get subbed by Karine Souza. She's been finished a lot.
I know. I've done my research. She's had 4 fights and she's been finished 4 times. And it's gonna happen again when she loses to Hill. She's shit. She's got no grappling. She's got no wrestling. She's got a little bit of an arm bar off her back, but that's only if you fucking, stay there too long and don't mind your P's and Q's. But Hill, she's only been subbed by Randa Marcos back in the day. Well, that was the last time she was subbed, and that was like 10 years ago. So she's good there. She's got a chance at a lucky punch like she did against Yasmin, but Yasmin's got no fucking chin. She's been TKO before against Denise Gomez. She was overly aggressive, and she thought she was fucking the shit, and she got reckless, and she paid for it. But Hill's got the experience, better everywhere. She used to be purely Muay Thai, and she didn't mix in her wrestling. She's added that now. She lost to Richie, big whoop. Richie's on the up now. She's in the top 10. She's been given favorable fights to match her skill set. Dana loves her because she goes out with that fucking boxer guy who he promotes, Walsh, whatever his name is. Yep. So yeah, everything's on the Hill side. The only thing I can think of is the fact that she's 40 and the fact that Souza TKO'd Yasmin. But like I said, the TKO don't mean shit. It was purely based on Yasmin being a retard rather than Souza.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, it makes no sense to me. And I've got Hill to TKO her in round 2 or 3, man.
I could dig it. I really could dig it. That'd be pretty cool.
Hell yeah, Forrest. Appreciate you for hanging out. And yeah, Angela Hill's granddad got abducted by aliens. Actually, yeah, really, really funny. They've interviewed her and stuff about it. It's great.
I didn't see that. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, really. Like it's
somebody sent me that video.
All right, we're moving on. We've got
keep going.
our next fight. Jared Flash Gordon versus Mashrabjan Ruziboyev. Now we got to add context here. His older brother, Nur Sultan, for whatever reason, his nickname is Black. So now we have Black Jr.
And that is not a TB nickname for anybody interested.
For the love of God, let it be known. But yeah, I mean,
I actually like Black Jr. It's hilarious.
It's actually kind of one of the greatest nicknames ever.
It makes no sense. It's awesome.
But ultimately, I think this one goes to Flash.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't see anything from Ruziboyev on tape that was good. I mean, I watched his fight versus Nilson Oliveira. The dude's 20-11. I'm almost certain he was paid not to throw a single strike. He stood there like this, took that first shot, and just got pounded for 30 seconds until the fight was over. And then I don't know. I was watching his the near Ismail Miziala fight, and it's just the guy is not very good at all. It's a close fight, and it really necessarily shouldn't be. So it goes to majority decision. So not a fan. I think Flash Gordon here is getting a favor after he gets robbed versus Paddy Pimblett, then he gets robbed versus Nasrat, and his guy pulls out. So they find whoever they can fucking give him. And I guess I think their Sultan just signed a contract, so they must have just been in the area. And they're like, hey, your brother's here? Sure, he can fight. So we didn't even know he had a brother until he was booked 2 days ago. So if that doesn't tell you about his fight acumen, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, Love Handle Scouting MMA on the case. This guy looks terrible.
He looks so bad.
The other thing, as you mentioned, those 2 horrible decisions against Jared Gordon. One's in England against Paddy Pimblett, and the other is against Nasrat Haqparast in Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi. It was one of those 2. I'm sorry if I was wrong. Okay.
Yeah, MBS is coming.
If you ask Johnny Walker, it was in the desert, and that's all.
Well said.
Just win, baby. Who are you going with?
Yeah, same. Gordon to win. I watched enough tape on this guy, Boev. Too much tape, man. It was fucking hard work, but I know exactly how really Gordon's going to win.
It was
so I know props yet, so I ain't giving it away. So I'll just say, yeah, Gordon's gonna win the fight.
Sounds golden to me. All right. We're moving on. We've got Rafael.
No, that's terrible. Get rid of that.
Macapa versus Jesus. He has risen Aguilar.
That's terrible. His name is Jesus.
He has risen. It doesn't matter if you were Hispanic, he would be Jesus, okay? But
I don't understand. You know what? Let's let
Rich,
our friend, our buddy, our guest, our wonderful guy.
Go ahead. What do you got here, Rich?
He's been on his best behavior so far.
I liked Estevam to win in round 1 or 2.
You said you liked Aguilar.
I haven't finished.
You said my parlay was shit because you liked Aguilar.
I haven't finished. I liked Estevam around 1 or 2, but now I see everybody parlaying him.
No, come on.
And not just because of you. Honestly, that parlay Clint made is fucking shit. It's the most retarded thing ever. And
you looked it up?
Will lose, and it's not going to be. Well, it could be Delgado as well. It's not the main. So yeah, it leaves them two, and then I literally see everybody playing Estevam round 1, 2, playing the submission round 1.
Oh well, I don't know. He could finish him, but he might not. I'm not sold on that.
Yeah, well,
it's just his money line.
Well, if he doesn't finish him, then he's going to lose, in my opinion, and Aguilar's going to win the decision.
No, Charles Johnson pushes a crazy pace. The only way he loses is if this fucking guillotine merchant snatches a guillotine. That's it. Look at his record. He's literally got.
I've seen his record.
He's got.
Hey, this is my turn. Hey, let me finish.
You're right. I forgot who show it was. My bad.
No, this is what happens with Guru. He gives away the microphone and he tries to steal it.
No, because other people's thoughts jog my thoughts. I think he's got 5 guillotine jokes. But Rich, you go, buddy. I forgot who show it was. I apologize.
Yeah, well, he can win the decision, man, because Estevam. I know that fight with Johnson, but Johnson didn't do anything. Johnson was just there to be ragdolled about. It's not like he put a pace on Estevam. And even when he had the opportunity to do so, he didn't. Estevam gassed himself by, just being stupid and coming out guns blazing. And that's the only way he knows how to fight. So if he does that here, and maybe he misses weight again, there's a world where Aguilar can get on top in round 2, 3. He's gone 5 rounds before. He's got good cardio. He's on supplements. He's always got the guillotine in his back pocket. And, Estevam likes to go for takedowns constantly. He's probably better on the feet because what I see from Estevam is he's all about the takedown. So if he doesn't finish, there's a world where he gasses himself out and Aguilar wins round 2 and 3, man.
Do you think that he can get that Jesus Aguilar can get up at the same rate that Jose Johnson did? Because you're going from the biggest flyweight in the division to the smallest.
Probably not, no, because I do rate Johnson. Like, he's very durable, never really gets finished. In fact, I don't think he's ever been finished.
Got it. Never.
Estevam can still, try and get his submission in round 1. Maybe he does an Edmund, thinks he's getting the finish. He gets mount, and then Aguilar keeps turning squirrely in that, and we get a decent ref who doesn't stop it, and then
I just think this is a major step down in competition, and Jose Johnson is pushes a much better, higher pace. His cardio is insane. I don't think Jesus Aguilar survives that storm.
But outside of Johnson, who did he fight, Estevam?
What's up?
Who did Estevam fight outside of Johnson that was any good?
No, nobody yet. That's been kind of his problem. He hasn't really fought too much.
There you go. So I think it's a bit naive to say he's fought the better competition. He's fought one fight that was better competition. And
True.
Johnson didn't do what he was supposed to do. Like, I bet on that fight, he pissed me off because he didn't put his foot on the gas. He has of late in his fights. But he didn't in that one. He was frustrating again. I'm just wary, man. And
I think you make a good point. I think you make good points. I'm not. I don't hate it.
I will say I believe in Jesus.
What? Is that who you're on?
No. I think
you're literally Jewish, so you do not believe in Jesus.
I believe that he was a Jew. But what I would say is I actually do think that there's some good points to this fight going over and going the distance. Jesus is a very good scrambler. He isn't he's been submitted a couple times, but I mean the level of grappling and back takes of a guy like Taira, you know, he's very sneaky in that way.
And his
Whereas
first pro
Esteban,
fight, so it's not
yeah,
both are excusable to your
yeah,
guys'
yeah.
point.
Esteban, like he's more of a ground and pound threat to me than an active submission threat. And I'm very curious to see how this guy comes in at weigh-ins. You can't touch this fight until you see, like, is Esteban 3 pounds overweight and they let him fight and he looks fine? Because in that case, he's gonna smash. Like whether
That was the
a
other thing
3-round
with the Johnson fight.
Yeah, like Esteban's a cheater. Like, and he's huge. He's huge. So
is Jesus.
yeah,
Wait.
Yep. No, exactly. So I need to see the dynamic from that aspect is like what's happening here from how these guys are showing up and what's like the strategy. I think Aguilar is actually like over 2.5 minus 115. Is this a flyweight fight?
That's how I feel.
So fight goes is plus money.
That's the mush part of it.
Okay.
The mush part of it is the over. Like, yes. I think anybody betting a finish here is silly, but I just think Esteban is going to control him for the most part.
I don't think it just ends sub though. I think he's a good enough wrestler to pass to side control if there's a guillotine attempt.
And he's probably
he's not going to Stewie nickel it.
Yeah, he's good enough at jiu-jitsu, I think, to survive. Is I think the point.
What type of subs does Esteban have on his record?
That's a good question.
Let's see. He's got a rear naked choke, an arm triangle choke, an arm bar. That's it. I think it's just those 3.
Yeah, and I bet his arm bar was against somebody who was 0-1.
Nope, it was 0-0.
Nice. There you go. So I think when he's finishing, it's when people give up. The arm triangle choke is usually when people give up when they're tired and they can't be asked to fight it. And I don't think
round 1
got that quick. Tyro had to put a triangle on him, I believe it was. That's slick type shit. That's proper jiu-jitsu. Esteban seems to be like fucking Bashi, where he just takes the back, gets a rear naked, that type of shit.
Yeah, and I don't think Jesus is just like if he was going to give up to that, Mendonça would have just washed him out. Like if it was that easy.
He was bigger. He was on steroids.
Yeah,
so it'll go to the decision. That'll be the play. I love that.
That's the play.
I love it.
All right, we're moving on. Mahetinha, Gabriel Bonfim versus Chaos, the Ox Fighter Williams, plus 180. Man, I'm sketched out. I'm definitely sketched out.
When are we not?
No, well, ultimately the thing is, like Chaos Williams, I think, pretty soundly he's knockout or bust in this fight. We've seen Bonfim knocked out, but it was more attritional and gassiness than an actual chin or defense issue.
Yeah, Dalby's a dog.
We've seen Chaos Williams wrestled by the likes of Michel Pereira. We've also seen him stuff every other takedown he's faced in the UFC. So I feel like there's a lot of questions to be answered in this matchup, but I do lead towards Bonfim being the better wrestler, better grappler. And I don't know that I can trust him to not play at range against the guy with the 5-inch reach advantage and seemingly the power advantage. Now, Bonfim, what I will say is that he does a good job in trying to use straight punches and at least attempting to stay safe when he still has some type of gas tank left. Whereas Chaos, he's a great counter puncher, but he's going to swing together these wild combos that they're technical but wild at the same time. And that's what overwhelms these guys is the combination of athleticism mixed with the power and mixed with the wildness. Like Alex Morono is not like the great white. He did not show how great the whites were in that fight as he's getting obliterated by the likes of Chaos Williams. But Bonfim, I think he can actually match him from a physicality perspective. And that's where I think he can get a takedown, get a submission, win a decision. I think he's got more ways to take this fight. So I understand the line, but that doesn't mean I'm looking to bet his money line. I think the over 1.5 at minus 154, if we're not seeing Chaos Williams get a quick knockout. Well, we've also not seen Chaos Williams we haven't seen him really challenged in the grappling department. So it could be like Bonfim, real quick, takedown, boom, see you later, good night. But this could also just sneak to an over. So I don't have a super confident take here. I was almost thinking about taking a dog shot, but no, there's other ones I like better. I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, I can't get to the dog shot either. And just I felt like the problem was that obviously we had taken Carlston Harris in the last fight, and that was that was problematic. I mean, the reason why we wanted Carlston Harris, I should say, is because we did think that he'd have a grappling upside. I mean, he got nuked in a minute 30, coming in crazy. But in this fight, again, same idea though. Unless he gets nuked, I just think that Bonfim's going to have a better chance to win, especially with maybe some cage, even just some basic ass cage pushing, some wrestling, some old school wrestling. So give me the Bonfim here, but I am not rushing to the window to do anything with it.
Yeah, I like Bonfim. I don't mind the sub, but I don't like the number that I'm seeing. It's like plus 250. I'd prefer something better than that. Williams, why I don't like him? He fights once a year. It's short notice. He's won 3 bonuses in his UFC. I don't like that for someone like him. He's one of these flashy fucking cocky types who goes buying all the Gucci and shit and watches and rims on his fucking car. He's in real estate now, so he's doing outside shit, and I just think it's hard for him to get up for fights. So yeah, I think it'd be good for a round. And then I think round 2, 3, I'll look maybe to play Bonfim sub. I can get in live on Unibet.
Oh, yeah, this was short notice for him. In fact, he was supposed to fight Renat Fakhretdinov.
Yeah.
I forgot. Good call.
I don't like his style either, man. He punches, then cage pushes. I don't think that's wise against someone like Bonfim. He drops his head. He did it against Brian. Brian could have put the guillotine on him, but he didn't. Who was the other guy? Baeza had him in a heel hook, then he had him in a knee bar. He just wasn't able to finish. So I think he's been fortunate, man. And then when he fights the likes of Harris, who you want to see some grapple exchanges because, he's a real threat, he didn't have the opportunity. So the sub's still there, man. The fact that he's never been sub doesn't mean shit. When he's fought anyone half decent, well, Baeza was back in the day when he went toast. He almost got subbed. So the sub is live for Bonfim. But I don't know whether I'm going to play it or not. But I don't think Williams wins, and I don't think he's a live dog. I don't like him.
All righty. Beautiful. I think, it's just, I don't know. I've heard too many chaos whispers to feel like it's actually happening.
100%. He could even be a mush. I hear a lot of whispers on chaos.
Yeah, to be honest, if you're going to do the mush how it was supposed to be done, it would be Sadikov to win because 2 of the horsemen, as I know it, are on Bonfim. Wow. So, yeah, Bonfim should have been the mush, but what the fuck? I had a good idea, a good concept.
Hey, you can update it. You've updated it before.
You've done it before. You can do it.
Not worth it, man.
If you decide with no hate. And if you don't, no hate.
All right, we're moving on here. We've got Vince Van Morales versus Elijah Swift-Smith. Oh boy, we've got an interesting one. The lines you're seeing now are very different from the lines that we saw just 5 days ago. Guru, do you want to talk about? Is it in the room with you now? Would you like to talk about this?
No, not particularly.
So we won't talk about it. But we have Elijah Smith.
I don't care. Listen, who cares? All right, fine. I was drinking and we were watching the fights and we were making that money. We made a lot of money last week. And I may have been like surfing to next week's lines. And I've been like, oh, Vince Morales is fighting. He's going to lose. I don't care. So I put 2 units parlayed with Dricus Duplessis. Elijah Smith was minus 250 at the time. Immediately moves to minus 150.
Oh, no.
Yeah, oh, no. Listen, I've heard some chatter on Vince Morales. I think he's a solid veteran fighter. Decent at all, master of none type of guy. Doesn't put a lot of pressure, doesn't have a lot of power. Loses to Taylor Lapalus and I think that was a short notice call in after being on the regional for 5 fights, getting 5 wins, which was, impressive in its own right. Does belong in the UFC in its own weird way, but I don't necessarily think that he's going to get a win here. I think Elijah Smith is more athletic And I mean, what I've seen from him is problematic at times. I didn't love how he kind of gassed out versus Aaron Tao. But that fight was also on short notice for him. I don't love how he gasses out in the Reyes Cortez fight, gets knocked out round 3. But once again, I also feel that Reyes Cortez pushed a much higher pace than Vince Morales will. So I also think Reyes Cortez is due to make his comeback, either a third time Dana White Contender Series or get a short notice call. I do think that will come soon. So would I be shocked if Elijah Smith lost? No, not at all. But I do think that he could get it done. But I certainly think that Vince Morales could give him a vet lesson.
So just to be clear, you bet Smith because he's athletic.
I think he's more athletic. I mean, I think he's got the size, age, reach, which I do like generally off the rip. And yeah, I think a full camp gives him a good shot. And I do think he's going to put out more output would be my other thought.
Rich, what'd you like?
Oh, I like Morales big time, man.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
ITD, all of it. I think he finishes this guy.
This could be a Cortavius Romulus situation. Like, I would not be surprised. We're not I picked the other guy in that spot.
Who the fuck is that guy?
The Dana White Contender Series guy that lost in his debut. Cortavius Romulus. You don't remember him? He fought the other week.
Before the new year.
I'll pull it up. His nickname is Are You Not Entertained? And he lost to Gaston Bolaños on November 9th.
Fuck. I barely remember him, but yeah, I know Gaston a little bit.
Magni Pratis card.
Yeah, well, I ultimately feel like, the things that Morales can offer here, I think it's going to end up being a too little, too late type of scenario. Smith, while some of the process can fall apart as he works down the stretch, I think that some of those things like Guru talked about, the aggression, the ability to fight at a high pace, and there's a lot of things that happen in the first stint of Morales. He leaves, he gets multiple submission wins in a row on the regional scene, but he comes back. He comes back and, it's to accept the fight super short notice. Hey, buddy, you really want to come back to the UFC? Well, why don't you take this fight in France versus this guy that's just going to...
Who's French and huge and going to distance strike with you the whole time.
Right. So Lapalus, a way cleaner, more technical striker, operating in the large cage, has the room to do it, doubles him up. But even the fights in against a guy like Miles Johns, right? And, I picked Morales in that fight. And just to watch the way his inability to just not pull the trigger, to never put his foot fully on the gas. And you see him get outstruck in just about every single UFC fight he has. And I think it's going to be one of those 2 rounds to none scenario. He's going to start picking it up in the third. Smith starts falling apart like we saw. Oh, we got to fade this guy next time. Oh, we just missed out on this one. He holds on. It's a decision victory. He's probably not finishing Vince, but he's the faster guy. And when he starts throwing into like 3 or 4 punch combinations, you start to really see his limitations in the stand-up. But then when you see the way that he kind of transitions to these back takes off of a double leg, or when he shoots in, when he's got his full gas tank, when he's operating early, he looks great. Like the technical skills are all there. He's a guy high school wrestler and football player. COVID pandemic turns him to training MMA with his dad at that point. We're talking about a guy that we watched at 20 years old get embarrassed. I mean, he'd only been fighting amateur and professionally for about a year to that point. He's got the right type of person in his corner to kind of carry him through the ups and downs.
UFC fighter dad.
Exactly. And I think, Morales here, I think he's going to do better as a coach going forward than he's actually going to perform as a fighter. I think we're not going to see the Trey Ogden effect here. I think he's outclassed physically. And while some of the heart might shine through, I don't think we see V for Vendetta. I think we see a 29-28 Elijah Smith. I'm going to probably bet his money line. It's going to be gross. It's going to go the distance. And I'm going to do it. I don't care. I don't.
Okay. I'll tell you why I don't like Smith. All right. They sparred before And from listening to the interviews, it's my take that Morales got the better of that. And
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, super young, unrefined guy that
Yeah,
trained
in the
together
gym,
at
willing
one
to let
point.
it all hang out for no reason because he wants to learn. I'm sure he did get the better in the sparring. And that's actually, I actually think now I'm getting crazy with it. Maybe because I'm, doing my thing over here. I'm thinking that's actually even worse for Morales because now he's thinking, I have the better of him. I little bro, this guy, and I'm gonna hit that with the 1-2 I hit him with the last time. I don't know that he's gonna be able to work it the same way because I think this guy's making improvements because
I
he's
hadn't
young.
finished. Okay, so
Fuck yeah.
they sparred before, and from the interviews, it seemed like Morales got the better of them sparring sessions. And then on Instagram, Morales was asking people to ask him questions, and I said, who got the better of the sparring sessions? And he did a video and he answered it and said it was a long time ago, pretty much what you said. You can't take anything away from it. People have been improving. But what he did say is that Smith had a grappling exchange and he posted that on his Instagram, which makes me believe that Smith thinks he has a grappling edge. So in this fight, I think that he will implement the grappling, which will be to his detriment because his gas tank is shit. He's not the better wrestler. He's not the better grappler. He might have had, this moment in training a while back, but in a 3-round fight on his UFC debut, when you gas anyway, and you're not going to finish Morales by a sub, why are you choosing to wrestle? It's stupid. So I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to gas out like he always does, and he's going to get finished in the later rounds. Morales has the wealth of experience, and I give Smith a pass as well for that Reyes fight. He was young. Reyes was 30 at the time. It was just a lesson to be learned. But I seen a guy who quit in there. I don't think that Smith is a quote fighter. He's a decent athlete. He does some things okay, which will get you by on the regional circuit. But in that fight with Reyes, after round 1, he skirted on the outside. He pretty much said, come and finish me off. I'm done. Didn't throw anything. He was lateral movement, avoiding the fight, not throwing anything. And then thereafter, he got finished. And yeah, I see the same thing. Morales is the far better technical striker. You can say that, he didn't throw volume against the likes of Miles Johns or whatever, but Johns is decent. Johns would fuck Smith up as well. I don't think there's any shame in Morales being hesitant. And it reminds me of this interview we saw with Sean Strickland where I think it was Brett Okamoto said, people are saying you don't finish fights. What's up with that? And he said, it's the caliber of opposition. Sorry if I don't go guns blazing and leave opportunities for them to fuck me up. And I think that's the same with Morales. And when you're fighting somebody like Smith, who's not going to throw in round 2 and 3 because he's shook, because he can't strike, this guy's fucking streaming. He's making stupid Instagram videos with fucking his rap songs by fucking Drake or whatever. I think he's a phony. Fuck him. Fuck his nose rings. Fuck his fucking whole gay demeanor. I hate him, man. If I was going to change the mush, I would change it to Smith. That's how confident I feel. And yeah, I got a huge bet on Morales, man.
I definitely think that gas side is absolutely there. I mean, it's there.
It won't change either, man.
It's very possible it doesn't.
All right. Well, what I will say, you never know what I end up deciding. I'm thinking about pulling the trigger the other way, but passing wouldn't be the worst thing. McPooperton, shout out to you because you never know what's happening underneath the camera right now. All right, we got Walter, the Clean Monster Walker versus Dontail Lord Kong Mays. So if you were upset that we tweeted out reverse CLV for Angela Hill, well, then you'd be happy to know we gave you some solid CLV on Walter Walker.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take 10 cents reverse CLV on a bet that's probably going to win anyway versus what did we get? 70 points of CLV here?
Yeah, I think what we get, Walker minus
50?
170.
170 or 50 points, whatever.
So it's 68 points.
Yeah, I can't do math. Oh, I said 70.
One touch away from the beautiful 69. I love it. That's amazing. Yeah, so ultimately, I mean, Dontail Mays, this is like the Jamal Pokes experience where You're just one loss away from getting
Mick,
booted from the UFC.
Mick Pooperton, you really think you could outshit Dontel Mays and Walter Walker? I am not. I don't know. Maybe in a fight, I think you can take them, but in a shitting match, that might be tough.
It'd be tough.
Yeah, listen, we took Walter. We took Walker. So tell him why, TB.
Yeah, listen, it's not something I'm necessarily super proud of, but yeah, Walter Walker he at least has the clearest path to victory in this fight, and that's smash your titties into the guy, push him up against the cage. If you can get an outside trip onto some top control, then God bless. If you can get down onto the single or double leg, once again, God bless, because I think all these things are available against Dontel, unless, of course, was it him that tore the pectoral muscle of one John Bones Jones in training? Wasn't that the rumor that he was the one that that caused it? But I don't know. Anyways, Walter Walker, it's just he's gonna get it by just doing enough, and it might not be pretty. It's probably not going to be by finish. It could even be a split decision. But Walter Walker is the one he's going to do more, and that's what I can trust. So here we go. We're taking Walter. Sorry if you missed it, but it is what it is. You got to follow us out there. Rich, do you have anything different here?
No, I like Walker. I think the value's on round 2, 3. Put some money on round 2, put the same amount on round 3. I think one of them are going to cash. I'm interested to see what Mays comes in, his weight. That's interesting to me because in his last 2 fights, he's weighed the full 265. Before that, it was like 262, 261, 255. So as time's gone on, he's been more of a fat cunt. He's coming in fat, tubby, straight off the couch, not giving a fuck, and then just seeing what happens. And then on the other side with Walker, first fight, full 265, last fight, 252. So he's taking it serious. The trajectory of both men is like evident. One's 27 on the way up, one's 33 on the way down. Mays, he notoriously, hit defense and takedowns early. He certainly will in round 1. I don't think he's going to get finished, but it's usually round 3 when he doesn't bother getting back up. He did that against Crowder. He did that against Shamil. Literally didn't try. They wasn't able to get a finish. Maybe they don't know what a head and arm choke is. I think Walker does. Walker's going to finish him in round 2 or 3, in my opinion, and that's what I'm going to bet. Could be KO from Mount, TKO, or it could be a submission, but I'm not going to risk that and just bet round 2 or 3, man.
All right, beautiful. Glad we're agreement on the side here. I might have to dabble on those props. All right, and we made it. It's depressing, but we've got the Raging Panda at plus 500. We've got the Cavalcade, Jacqueline Cavalcanti, minus 700. I think the Cavalcade rides to victory. Minus 700. I know I'm getting a little ballsy here, but I don't know. Just don't. Why? You don't need to touch it. You don't need to do it. If anything, I would say it's hilarious. You can do an under 2.5 plus 230. Avila either falls apart or rage bombs into a hilarious finish. I don't know. It's worth a shot to me.
I mean, once again, the problem, of course, is after back-to-back split decisions against pretty terrible competition. Cavalcanti just needs a volume-based decision, and it's just a really tough look. I don't know why this girl's still fighting. And Julia Avila, she's 1 million years old. She came back versus Miesha Tate after having a baby as a favorite, as a fucking favorite. We took Miesha Tate. They tried to tell us we were crazy. They were fucking crazy. This lady looks like a fucking crazy librarian that would beat you up for bringing up an overdue book. I mean, this is really, really nutty stuff. The under's actually quite interesting to your point there, Daz. If you're going to do anything before this fight starts, you take a little.
What about TB? What about TB? That
nobody listens to TB.
That's not cool.
You take a little sprinkle on the under.
I don't
if you're
like
going to do anything.
That's not nice of you.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's literally how I handed it off to you.
No, that's pretty nice.
As I said, I think that the under plus 230.
If Rich said it, that would have been sharp. I would have that would have been good. So yeah, that's kind of where I end up with it. But see, isn't that funny how I kind of talk myself there anyway?
No,
Rich, what do you like? It was in my original thought.
No.
Well, I don't like fucking Avila. I'll tell you that much.
Why not?
I wouldn't take the under 2.5 if
How
you're
many
going to do
beers?
it.
How many beers?
0. She's from Cali, man. She's a liberal, and I'm all right wing and fucking Trump. So I fucking hate the bitch. I can't fuck with them type of people.
All right.
I like Cavalcante. Obviously, I wouldn't take the under. I'd take fight doesn't go if that's what you plan on doing. Why risk it?
Yeah.
But yeah, this girl is fucked, man. Her knees are fucked. Her body's fucked. Her mentality's fucked. She's had 2 fights in the last 4 years. I've been following her on Instagram. That's what I do at the start of fight week. Add everyone on Instagram and then unfollow them all because I can't stomach them. But she's been posting videos. She brought her fucking kid and her whole family to the fight. It looks like a retirement one. That's what people do. It was just making me sick. She's having her photos taken in her UFC uniform and holding up her kid and shit. And I was just thinking, ugh, like, fuck off. Go be a mom, man. What are you even doing here? So, yeah, I can't stand it. In the Tate fight, pat on the back to all of us. I had Tate as well. I think I even had the finish. That was an insta tap. It was a phantom tap. The rear naked choke wasn't even in. At the end of round 2, her coach, who looks like some fucking kid off the street, was like, fuck the game plan. Throw it out the window. Stand your ground. Do this and that. And I was thinking, like, who the fuck are you, man? Mr. fucking, who's that guy with the motivational speeches? Tommy Robinson or something? Like, she's fucked. Like, look at her face, man. She's checked out. And then that's what happened. She got took down straight away. She gave her back up. She went on her hands and knees, didn't defend the choke. She gave it to Misha. And yeah, she give up, man. And that's what's going to happen here, in my opinion. It's going to be round 2 or 3. But, I would smash the line. I would go ITD Cavalcante and I would go round 2 or 3. My only concern is that this bitch does not finish, man. She's happy to lateral move around the cage and point fight. And I'm scared she's going to do that here with Avila.
Cage.
Yeah, there's that. But still, she's a dick, man. She is. You know what I mean? she is a dick. She's going to point fight.
Yeah,
she's going to lamb for the slaughter. She's going to be on one knee and she's still going to just point fight and jab like there's anything coming her way. This is what women do to you, man. They infuriate you. They piss you off. They make you think, yeah, women's MMA, man. So I'm going to watch it live. Like I said before, Unibet, you can bet live props. They're dumb as fuck. They give you stupid numbers. At the end of round 1, Cavalcante, I imagine, will be like plus 1,000 for the sub, plus 1,000 for the KO, and I'll get in live if I see, massive regression from Avila, like she's on her way out. What else can I say about her, man? The travel as well. Cavalcante, she's now, I believe, in Vegas training. Her fights as well. She had a couple in France. She went split decision to these fuckers like Noreen Corleone, who's on steroids. Yeah, she's fighting in Vegas this time. She's at Syndicate, so it's home turf. She's younger, 27. Availa's 36. Props to anyone who got the minus 300 or whatever it was before it's blowing out to this stupid shit. Yeah, keep a close eye on the fight, and if you can bet it live and you can get your props in, do so.
What's that? I'm gonna call HR legal team on the line here. We're just gonna go ahead. We've been advised. We're just going to put a blanket statement now that we've reached the end of the show. Well, we've had an absolutely amazing time. Chronic Combat Conversations does not condone or endorse the
all my own views.
MSNBC reserves the right to their own opinions and expressions of.
All right, but seriously, absolutely amazing time. This is why we do it weekly. Just like there's nothing like taking the mind off the real world and capping some UFC fights, trying to figure out how we can make some money this weekend. Hey, we've been doing it 4 out of 4 to start the year. Don't look now. Chronic Combat on the loose. Rich, thank you so much for joining us. Guru, I wish I could say the same for you. But no, seriously, this is the best. We will be celebrating this weekend, getting after it. Rich, what do you got to say to the people here before we turn it over to the Guru to let it out proper?
Yeah, if you want to join my Discord, you want my bets, link in the bio on Twitter, all that good stuff. It's like $12 a month. So if you want that, go ahead. And yeah, it was worth staying up for, man. Thanks for having me on. What more can I say? Good shit, man.
Appreciate you coming on, man. Anytime. I always enjoy going back and forth with you on the Twitter sphere. You know, in the good way, because you know, we don't like being on your bad side.
Hey, I'm kind to you guys, man.
We've earned it, though, right? We've earned it.
I'll say what you get back, what you give out in the world. So
I think so too.
Be good.
That's
people,
true. We give kindness. And
yeah, I'll add you some controversy. If you're going to be a little bitch and cry about your fucking mom, then you're going to get some shit. So don't be a fucking faggot, and I won't give you some shit. If you're a good, honest people, I recognize it, and I'll treat you with respect. If not, fuck you.
Legal team on the line again. We're just going to reinforce. All right, no, but seriously, I feel you, man. All right, Guru, do the right thing here. Tell the people where we're at. Let's take it away.
Rich, thanks so much for spending your time with us this evening. Got everybody in the chat. Seriously, thank you all so much for being here. A lot of people, listen, some people I hadn't seen. Hit that subscribe button. Love to have you back next week, 8 p.m. Eastern. We go live every single Thursday. Special guests, best bets, always free, making that money. Make sure you're following my crazy partner up there. What happened?
Man, this one's off the rails.
You're off the rails.
Yeah, I am.
Go follow TB up there. You can follow him over on Twitter, Instagram, Picket, Verdict, Tapology, and Bet MMA. You can follow me, the Guru Scouting MMA, over on Twitter, Verdict, Instagram, Picket, Tapology, and Bet MMA. We will see you next week from Seattle. Who the fuck knows who's going to be fighting? Because every single fight has been changing. So whatever, as long as we get Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong, we'll be all right. Now let's head off to Seattle. Maybe we'll find some Kraken. Be safe out there, everybody.